What's up, guys? This is Game Fifi of Games Day, and I'm here with my friend Ryan, and this is Kids on Wrestling. What were your thoughts on this past week's Raw?
It was a mess. That's all I have to say.
I don't like how. What was the point of us voting for the Piper's Pit, where all three of them showed up on the show anyway?
There was no point.
There was no point in that.
It was rigged.
You had to vote for the Jericho, the Miz, or Dolph Ziggler. And Jericho won, but then all the rest started to come out anyway, which was it was a good segment between Dolph Ziggler and Chris Jericho, because that was supposed to happen and Piper since they had a feud. But the Miz didn't need to come out. The Miz didn't need to remind us that he was the main event of WrestleMania 27
again,
and that he beat John Cena due to The Rock's help. And he didn't have to mention that how he's awesome, but yeah, he's the Intercontinental Champion.
And he hasn't won.
He hasn't won a match ever since he had the title. Just to have a triple threat match with the Miz losing again.
Because he tapped out.
He tapped out.
It didn't cause the decision, but he tapped anyway.
He still lost the match. But Raw as a whole note, it was
entertaining.
It was so bad that it was good.
It was like watching a bad movie, pretty much.
Yeah, the build up to what you wanted to see was off camera. Freaking Brock Lesnar hiding ranking HBK, just joking him out the car, and then to have the fake camera shut off, and then all you hear is sound effects was kind of.
It was lame. That's what it was.
Yeah,
because we waited that entire 3 hours just to see Shawn Michaels get destroyed, but we couldn't see it. We get to see him get F5, then we get put in armbar,
and then his arm broken. But mind you, this is the same company that aired live vehicle manslaughter with Bret Hart with the Nexus, but you can't show HBK getting the showstopper gimmick beating out of him.
But that's because Linda McMahon's running for Senate.
Was she running for Senate the last race?
Yeah, but now they have to be a star, you know, and all that jazz. You have to be politically correct. Another reason why Abraham Washington is no longer with us.
Yeah, that's in other news. Well, I mentioned last week's drama script decided that Abraham Washington got fired due to saying the Kobe rape joke on live television. Yeah, because he said just like Kobe Bryant in the Colorado hotel, he just can't be stopped.
He shouldn't have. That's like so. It's so old, but I see why it happened, because they mic'd him up, which they need to do because
they're trying
Titus
to make
and Daryl can't talk.
They're horrible. As you saw this Monday, that they're horrible. They're completely mute without him.
They're mute without him. So they mic'd him up on the side, which is cool, but they didn't train him. They didn't tell him what to say. So he'll be sitting there cheering them on, and then they'll be in his ear and say something, and he came up with something on the fly. He came up with that very racy joke, and it cost him his job.
And I like on Twitter, he even mentioned himself. So he was like, you guys were either going to get a Kobe Bryant joke or a LeBron James joke. And since LeBron James won the NBA Finals with the Miami Heat, he was like, well, you had to get a Kobe Bryant joke. I don't like that logic.
Yeah,
I feel if you were going to make a Kobe, I feel if you're going to make probably a LeBron James hairline joke, should have just done that. Would have been a lot safer. But yeah.
He's like LeBron's hairline. He's unstoppable.
Yeah. But moving on, undrama scripted news, Nash tweeted out that wrestling died when Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero won the titles at the WrestleManias. With your thoughts on that? Because that's just obscene.
It just really aggravates me because he's shooting on them after the tragedies have happened of them passing away, and he has to realize too, but of course he's not going to think that way, that during his reign as WWF champion in 1995, that was one of the worst years for the WWF, WWE in their entire history.
Yeah, he was.
The buy rates were crap, and they weren't even competing with Nitro at the time. They were competing with regular television. The ratings were bad, the buy rates were crap.
Even I think at that WrestleMania, I think it was 13, Vince didn't even believe in him.
He didn't have the main event.
He wasn't the main event
in WrestleMania
13, which is kind of, that should give, I think the only title one that's worse than Kevin Nash's is Jack Swagger's.
Yeah.
Because Jack Swagger never won a match.
All Jack Swagger did was drag Ray around by his ankle.
Yeah, all Jack Swagger did, he cashed in his lunchbox on Chris Jericho. Then he became champion. Then he had a feud with Big Show. Then he lost it in the Fatal 4-Way. And all of his matches that he had, he never won.
But basically, none of Nash's feuds were memorable.
Nope.
When he feuded with Sid and all that stuff. But the only thing good came out about it, he lost it eventually in '96 to Bret Hart. And he was a transitional champion anyway for Shawn to win it.
The highest point in Kevin Nash's career was, I think it happened in, I'm not sure what the year, but his highest point is when Kevin Nash beat Goldberg to break his streak, which is BS because the way
which is his brainchild, by the way. Yeah. Because he was doing the booking for WCW at the time.
Yeah, that was his highest point, and when he was with the NWO, those were his highest points out the was his all career.
You have to admit the Clique has a dominating power in the wrestling industry as it is today, but to go off saying stuff like he did makes no sense.
Yeah, because he didn't bash Shawn Michaels.
He didn't bash Shawn Michaels. He didn't bash Bret Hart.
He's not going to bash Triple H.
He didn't bash Jeff Jarrett, who he gave him the fucking WCW title for some reason.
Yeah, that was bad.
And then he ended the streak by tasing fucking
he had his best friend Scott Hall come in and tase him, which you only have a chance. See, with something like this, you only have the chance to have Goldberg lose, so he'll be undefeated. You have one chance to do this, and you do it by that. Which there were several other ways that you could have had Goldberg lost.
And Goldberg was one of the main drawing points to WCW.
But to have him lose at a pay-per-view and to have him lose, to have it be unclean with a taser,
he really sold that taser, by the way, though.
Yeah.
Because Goldberg has gone through a lot worse in his matches and still continued on. Like you saw in the episode of Botchamania when he
gave himself a concussion when he wrestled DDP. He speared DDP so hard that he rammed his head into the mat, gave himself a concussion, still continued the match, reversed the diamond cutter, and was still able to jackknife Sledgehammer DDP for the 1-2-3.
That, my friends, is sheer power.
Yeah, that was it. But anyway, that's gonna wrap this up on this episode of Kids on Wrestling. Feel free to leave your comments down below what you thought. Maybe you'll see another episode like this. Who knows? And I'm Gaming Games, guys. Signing out. Peace.